was seen as being directed to the Prime Minister in order to chasten him. RSS unhappy on what count? Prime Minister and his other ministers, will they address that unhappiness?
Will we see Modi taking his cabinet ministers and making them meet the RSS leadership? Is that going to happen? Hello, I'm Charulata Biswas and welcome to the Indian Express and to another episode with Neerja Chowdhury. Today we will be discussing and dissecting what RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat said last week, which has stirred quite a buzz. So today I have Neerja Chowdhury who will tell us what are the implications of the statement that Mohan Bhagwat made, and if it's going to impact BJP's strategies in future, and whether this was a wake-up call for Bharatiya Janata Party. So Neerja, my first question, and that's what you address in the column as well, whether this was a wake-up call by Mohan Bhagwat.
The speech of Mohan Bhagwat to senior trainees in Nagpur, just under 1,000 of them. And it was at the end of a 21-day session. He spoke, and Mohan Bhagwat is very measured in his words normally. Cautious, measured. And this speech of his has created a buzz, a controversy about what he meant. Now, what is it that he said? It wasn't directed at anyone particular. Nobody was named, no party was named. It was by and large directed at the political class in its entirety. But it was seen to be, I would say, you can call it, was it a wake-up call? Was it to put the new government on notice? Was it a rebuke to the Prime Minister? What did he say? He said, a sevak cannot be arrogant.
Right.
Now the Prime Minister has called himself a first sevak, a pratham sevak, pradhan sevak. So it was clearly seen to be directed at him. Next he said, talking about our democracy, that there are two sides to democracy, parliament, but they cannot be treated as enemies. They should be what he called it is a pratipaksh. I won't even call Virodhi. So they are not enemies but competitors. Then he said this country with all its diversity has to be run through consensus. He talked about, even when elections are fought bitterly and you have to get the better of your opponent. I mean, it's in the nature of things. But you cannot forget your maryada. You cannot cross that Lakshman Rekha. And he said the recent election campaign did just that. And that was not very desirable, and these kind of things have long-term impact. They create divisions in society. And then he talked about, the other people you disagree with, and obviously was talking about the minorities. They are like brothers. So he was using very conciliatory notes and also things that need to be said in a democracy. But it was seen as being directed to the Prime Minister in order to chasten him. So that's why there is the buzz. And of course, very important, he talked about Manipur.
Exactly.
And Manipur, he said, he expressed concern, and he used words, if I remember right, the situation had it emerged or upchai. Matlab was it instigated? Word to that effect, instigation. And he of course said it needed urgent attention. Of course, recently the Home Minister took a meeting on Manipur with all the bureaucrats and the security forces. So they may have taken the words of the RSS chief seriously. But overall, the general view was that remark, was his words meant to chastise the BJP leadership?
The decorum that he's talking about during elections, it's because he was not happy with BJP's election strategy, because we did not see a lot of involvement from the RSS side. We did not see anyone in the campaigns. And the last time we saw Mohan Bhagwat was during Ram Mandir inauguration. What's your take on that?
Yes, it is widely believed that the RSS did not work as enthusiastically, as vigorously as it was done in the past. Because the RSS helps the BJP walk the last mile. They come, distribute, the purchase about you, where your, they didn't come to our homes. And whoever I've talked to, whether it's in Sikar, whether it's in Noida, and people say they didn't come this time. Now, particularly in Uttar Pradesh, they were seen to have held back. So the RSS was obviously not happy. But in other states, they worked apparently vigorously. Madhya Pradesh, for instance. So it's only in some states that they held back. So RSS unhappy on what count? And that unhappiness will the new leadership or the continuing leadership of the BJP, the Prime Minister and his other ministers, will they address that unhappiness? I talked about Manipur, of course, but what the RSS, apart from the arrogance that had come in, that the RSS was worried about, what they have been talking about is that the organization needs to be built up. And that organization of the BJP has to be separate from the government. And as one of the senior people in the RSS said this to me, it cannot be full of yes men who say yes sir. The word used was yes sir. It has to be independent. It has to build the organization again. So they obviously want their views, suggestions to be taken on board, particularly about who will be in the organization and the next party president.
Okay. The RSS top brass and the BJP top leadership, do you think they couldn't foresee this fallout, that was sort of brewing? Because we see Mohan Bhagwat's comments, like suddenly coming out like this, talking about Manipur and talking about what true sevak really means, without any arrogance. So do you think there were signs out there that was sort of making Mohan Bhagwat uncomfortable and leading to his, unhappiness?
Look, Mohan Bhagwat, if I remember right, 2 or 3 years ago, had gone through the country, in different parts of the country. He'd met with smaller groups of people, and these were people across the political spectrum. And he had chats with them about the RSS philosophy, getting their views on board. That was a very interesting exercise that he undertook. Now, of course, the RSS is also unhappy about what they call crony capitalism, supporting the government, supporting 1 or 2 or 3 industrial houses. They are worried about the poor not having got what, the expression of dissatisfaction by the poor of India in this election. I think that has caused them concern. So I think they would like that all these issues to be addressed. And of course, other people have taken a cue from Mohan Bhagwat's words. And the organizer, which is considered the mouthpiece of the RSS, has carried few articles in recent days, where you had Ratan Sarda and Indresh Kumar talk about the arrogance of the BJP, but also they've talked about why there was the need to break parties, say in Maharashtra. You didn't need a majority when you broke the NCP. And then you took in Ajit Pawar, who you'd been accusing of
corruption,
big scale corruption.
Yes.
And a few days later you took him in.
Yes.
So they felt it was a big mistake, and that is what led to this narrative about the washing machine, which clicked with people, ordinary people. And many people have talked about this Ajit Pawar incident. And that has done the party damage in Maharashtra. Maharashtra is very important, second largest state in India, where assembly elections are going to be held in 3 months, and Mumbai being the financial capital. So it's not like any other state. So damage has been done. So I think they want correctives to be put in place, and after the results, there were high-level meetings between the RSS leaders and some of the BJP leaders to try and address some of these issues. But I think everything will hinge on party presidentship and who mans or womans the organization in the company. And I hear that there may not be, there may be an executive president for 6 months. Mr. Nadda, JP Nadda, who's the party president now, his term comes to an end in June. So some people were saying he may get another term, but I hear that there may be an executive president till elections are held and a proper president elected early next year. Of course, there are many names doing the rounds for who could be the president, but they are very keen that the strengths of the organization are not lost. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to win elections.
One last question. We saw Mohan Bhagwat meeting Yogi Adityanath. Does it signal at a fact that maybe it is a reaffirmation of support to the BJP leadership? How do you see this?
Well, politically, if you look at it, this meeting, people say it had been scheduled a long time ago. But timing in politics is everything.
Right.
So this meeting at this juncture does signal politically support for Yogi Adityanath, because all through the campaign in Uttar Pradesh, the buzz was, and particularly amongst the Rajputs, his own community, that he may be shunted out of UP after the Lok Sabha election if the BJP leadership emerges strong after the election. So there is that question mark hanging there: will he or will he not be shown the door or brought to Delhi or whatever and now that the party has done badly in Uttar Pradesh, that question hangs there. So I think Mohan Bhagwat's support, coming as it does now, particularly after his statement in Nagpur, is, I think, a sign of support to Yogi Adityanath.
Okay. And before we close, will we see Modi taking his cabinet ministers and making them meet the RSS leadership? Is that going to happen?
In the first year of premiership, that's what happened.
Yeah.
The cabinet was taken to the RSS leadership and had discussions. After that, not. So let's see. Mr. Modi, I think, will sue for peace. The RSS also doesn't want the government to go. So they too will want the relationship between the RSS and the BJP, what they call a rebalance, a reconfiguring of that relationship to take place.
Okay, so let's see if that happens, and thank you so much for your analysis.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, viewers. If you like this video, then like and subscribe to our channel and get all the details about what's happening in in politics in India through our episode with Neerja Chowdhury. Thank you so much for watching.